Zipper Interactive has a great history of really being on the cutting edge when it comes to technology.
SOCOM came out back in 2002, and at the time it was known as the premier online game for the PlayStation 2. And with SOCOM 4, we really wanted to bring the whole complete package to the PlayStation 3.
The exciting thing about making SOCOM 4 for the PS3 is just the power of the system and how we're able to harness that to make the overall game more immersive, starting with the graphics.
You'll see so much more atmosphere and more realistic lighting and lens flares and everything that we weren't really able to do in previous platforms.
We're going to secure the village north of here and then move out.
Are you crazy?
We're focusing a lot more on the single-player experience, and we came up with a whole new cinematic engine, so we're able to tell and render in real time a very compelling story.
Here's his pen. Make sure you stab him with it.
And then it also translates to our advanced AI. We're able to do things with the enemy AI squad tactics that make the game much more dynamic. Depending on if you come in guns blazing or maybe take more of a stealth approach, the enemy is going to change the way they react to you.
SOCOM 4 also has a very robust audio engine. We have proximity chat, so if somebody's behind you and they're talking to a teammate, you'll actually hear the voice from your surround sound speakers behind you. The power of the PlayStation 3 not only allowed us to push the graphics in the game, but also the audio and other areas of it as well. And the gun sounds. Gotta love those gun sounds. So with the Move controller, we're able to very precisely aim at areas on the screen and target enemies, take them out, give your team commands. And it really, is a whole new way of playing a tactical shooter like SOCOM.
Something a lot of people have been asking for is, when can I hold it like a gun? And the sharpshooter allows you to do that.
You put the Move controller into the sharpshooter along with the navigation controller, and you hold it like you would hold an assault rifle.
SOCOM 4 has a new type of 3D that Zipper's developed that maintains the full resolution and full performance as you would have if you weren't playing in 3D.
So we really wanted to add these new technologies to make playing the game more intuitive while still keeping to the authenticity and tactical nature of the game.
It's a much more immersive way to play the game, and we've had a lot of fun with it.
PlayStation.
One of the things we really wanted to focus on for SOCOM 4 was telling a more cinematic narrative.
You've got a problem with authority, and that makes you a wild card. That gets people killed.
Push the storytelling to realms that SOCOM game hasn't yet seen.
You and I are nothing alike.
If we provide an authentic experience, it's going to feel real. It's going to hit you in the gut.
Okay, this is NATO Operations Commander. What's your status?
Having the operations commander be our central character, we're able to tell his personal story and the story of his teammates and how they work together as a squad.
In SOCOM 4, you're in charge of 5 characters. The first character is OpsCom.
Wells is kind of your grizzled veteran. He's seen it all, he's done it all. He's actually Ops Commander's right-hand man.
There's also Schweitzer, and he's kind of the beast on the group. His job is to suppress the enemy.
A little bit later on in the campaign, you'll actually meet Chung and 45.
45 is a special operations soldier from Korea, and her specialty is covert actions. She's very good at close quarters combat.
Let's see if you're as good as you say you are.
I'm better.
The Korean Special Forces actually do have female operatives within their ranks as well, so keeping with that authenticity.
We're here to link up with the 45th Recon Detachment. Where's your commanding officer?
You're looking at it. I'm the only officer left.
The player is the leader of a special forces unit caught in a civil war in South Asia.
Now you can fall in with me, or wait here for help that isn't coming.
Everything goes wrong, and they have to extract themselves, and if they can, complete the mission that they came in to do.
Understood.
We've tried to minimize the on-screen HUD and have more big events throughout the environment, again, to get you feeling like you're really in the field in Southeast Asia and experiencing this SOCOM story.
In order to have a thinking man shooter, you must also have an enemy that thinks. And that's exactly what we provide to the player.
The AI is constantly changing their tactics based on the player's playstyle.
No matter what the player does, the enemy AI will have an answer.
It is so reactive that it actually makes you have to retreat and fall back. And the first time we saw this, I think we were all kind of surprised as developers. Whoa, I actually had to regroup my squad, fall back and reposition them to deal with these enemies coming at me.
It's not enough to simply shoot straight, but to also think smart.
It's all about teamwork and tactics and authenticity.
And that's a key differentiator between our game and maybe something that someone else has to offer.
PlayStation.
We wanted to create a kind of unique and contemporary score for the reimagining of SOCOM. We needed to take a step in a different direction than the standard military action scores.
We're totally avoiding any kind of cliched bash, crash, orchestral action music.
It's certainly my hope and our goal that players will play through this game and never hear the same piece of music twice.
I just am so excited about having Bear as our composer. He has a great way of mixing the ethnic instruments with orchestrated elements.
16 and 17 from there on felt really good.
We liked his work on Battlestar Galactica, and when we first approached him, we found out that he was actually a really avid SOCOM fan. So when we heard that, it was like, wow, this is fantastic. It was kind of like a perfect marriage, really.
It was exciting to get called because they were responding to all of the things in my Battlestar score that were the most unusual and the most outside the norm. And so I knew right away that they wanted something unique.
Oracle, we need support over here. Air support.
Commander, we still have capabilities. Several fighters on deck.
What about intel, satellite, extraction?
Let me see.
One of the great thrills of working on SOCOM is getting to work here at the Skywalker Ranch. Getting to come to this idyllic location and make music is a really extraordinary opportunity, and it's made the experience of working on SOCOM 4 even more memorable for me. Musically and narratively, I feel like the franchise is branching out into new areas. They wanted to emphasize the local environment. So this meant bringing in a lot of Southeast Asian sounds, which we do not associate with the kind of action-adventure scoring that you're used to hearing.
One of the really exciting things about Bear's approach to music creation is his boldness when it comes to assembling and pulling together instruments from not only different parts of the world, but different musical genres.
We thought it would be really interesting to try and merge the Eastern Orchestra and the Western Orchestra. So when the armies collide, so do the orchestras.
We needed the blend. And we also wanted to define a sound that for us was different and new.
There's a whole array of world wind instruments and string instruments.
We recorded a Javanese gamelan ensemble.
The bansuri, the shakuhachi, several Chinese membrane flutes.
Japanese taiko.
There's a lot of variety. There's tons of amazing instrumentation, but you have that solid foundation and that base of just well-scored moments.
It's going to make the product feel very electric and very driving, but also very intimate, and it'll draw you into the story just the way that any great film score should.
For fans of the franchise, it's going to be everything they loved about the previous games and a heightened experience that will take it to a whole new level.
PlayStation.
Hey, what's up? We're up here in the Sony private crazy upstairs area, checking out a lot of their lineup, and now we're joined by Chad Lowe, producer of SOCOM 4. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
Awesome. How's the show been going for you? You been up here most of the time?
I've been up here most of the time, but I go down and check on my guys, make sure everybody's got water and everything like that.
SOCOM 4 kind of first, or at least the first time I saw it, was back at GDC when it was being shown with the Move controller and kind of as a big part of that.
Yep.
Now, you know, obviously it does still work with the regular DualShock 3. Do you have a preference at this point?
Well, no, I don't have a preference. I actually like using them equally. I like the precision of the Move, but I also like just going back old school with the DualShock as well.
It seems like that could be, I mean, like that's kind of the most interesting thing to me is with you know, having both controllers supported in there is for something like, you know, in a big multiplayer game like SOCOM is, do you worry that one controller will have any kind of advantage? And has there been any like hurdles that you've had to deal with that?
No, it's actually been really easy integration into the SOCOM franchise, and I don't think there'll be any hurdles or any disparity between DualShock and Move. I think, you know, whatever your preference is, you're going to play it and you're going to have a lot of fun.
Cool. Now, of course, there is a big single-player campaign to the game as well. Where does it take place primarily, and what are you going to be doing in the game?
So you play OPSCOM, who is the operations commander of the NATO forces. He's a Navy SEAL. He has two Navy SEALs with him, Welsh and Schweitzer, and he also gets to team up with members of the Korean Special Forces 707, and that's Chung and 45. It takes place in South Asia. And basically, there's a group called Naga, and they're a revolutionary group, and they've come in and taken over the area. And so it's up to OPSCOM to find out what's going on and to figure out how he can help the NATO forces that are there, as well as the civilians that are in the area.
Cool. In addition to just the third-person shooting that you'll be doing as the player, there you are ordering a squad around. If I remember correctly, that changed pretty dramatically for the Move controller. Is it different as well for the DualShock, and how does it work on both?
Well, it's actually pretty simple. You can use the D-pad left or right to tell which squad members that you want to go in which spot, tell them to shoot at people. You can have them literally just stay behind, tell them to go somewhere, but have them hold until you're ready to actually send them for the best tactical advantage against the enemy.
Cool. Now, of course, I mean, that's my favorite part of the SOCOM series has always been the multiplayer. I'm not alone in that, I'm sure. So it's pretty exciting to hear that, you know, it's like Zipper's back on the game and you know, bringing what they bring to bear. What can you say about the multiplayer in terms of like modes, number of players, that sort of stuff?
So what I can tell you for multiplayer is we're going to have a really robust multiplayer. We're going to have up to 32 players, and we're going to release more information about that in the future.
Awesome. I'm dying to know more about that sort of stuff. With everything that's been done to the single player to redesign it, what's the thing that stands out most to you as like, all right, this is what we're nailing it, this is what's bringing SOCOM into the future?
So one of the things that, number one, is the integration of the Move controller. I mean, that was just, it was so easy for us to integrate, and it was just so flexible, and it's really a lot of fun to play. And I think another aspect of it that's really great is the tactical aspect of maneuvering your troops where you want them to go so they can flank the enemy and just take out targets of opportunity.
Awesome. Chad, thank you very much for your time. When is SOCOM 4 due to be released?
In the holidays of 2010.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.